You won't believe how much easier this makes the downswing. And that's making your arms move extremely slow in transition and then having them move as fast as they can after impact. Now this is what makes those really smooth swing players like Fred Couples, Ernie Els hit the ball so far, and the new guys like Cameron Champ. Now not only does this give you a really smooth looking powerful downswing, but it also helps you shallow the golf club, helps the golf club fall on path perfectly so you can hit those straighter shots more consistently. It helps you really apply the speed you're generating into the part that matters, and that is through the golf ball. So ultimately longer straight shots with way less effort. So let me explain through this and how it works and how you can do it, and some drills and training aids along the way that are really going to help you to be able to get this into your swing. Let's dive into the slow arms in transition. So this is incredibly important to help a lot of things happen on their own more naturally and a little bit easier. So one, shallowing the golf club. If I am up the top here and I am now going into my transition in the downswing and I am making these arms move as slow as I can, that's going to give me time for the lower body and mid-torso to start to unwind. And as you can see me just doing that, what happens? The club shaft starts to shallow. Gravity hits the center of mass of the club and starts to pitch it behind. So shallowing is incredibly important when it comes to rotating through the golf ball. You need to have that shaft shallow to be able to stay in your posture and continue to turn. So that's where if golfers pull the shaft down and quickly move the arms first in transition, quite often they'll get a little bit steep, and then from there they'll have to come out their posture, early extend, have a big stall out, they won't be able to rotate. So really important to be able to shallow that golf club. So secondly, moving the arms slow in transition, what does that also do? It helps the club fall on a good club path easier. So a lot of players who will then move their arms too much in transition, they might get a little bit out in front of them, or like myself, they might have the tendency to pull dead straight down. So what that's going to do, that's going to make your club path extreme one way or the other, going outside, out to in path slicing, pulling down quickly. That will then can cause some players to get into out and hook the golf ball. So having the arms be nice and slow, letting that lower body mid-torso go, like we said, it shallows the golf club, but it also makes the club fall on path really easy. So it's a much easier way to be able to hit the ball a hell of a lot straighter than you normally would without putting any more effort into it. So the next really awesome thing that happens when you're slow with your arms from the top is you start to generate natural lag, which is so important to be able to create power. So that's what I'm going to show you with this really bendy shaft here. And this is the G-Force Training Aid Club, which is brilliant for training the slow arms at the top. Because if I get quick with my arms and I start those arms really fast and throw them out, you're going to see how the shaft is going to start to bend in the other direction. So when I really am a lot slower with those arms and start to lead more with the body, I start to get a lot more whip. So we're going to see from the front on angle here, if I just hit a shot feeling nice and slow with those arms, you're going to see an exaggerated sense of how much that club will start to lag. Obviously this will be an extreme version of how much it will lag, but it will certainly do it when you get that normal club out, especially with your driver. You'll start to lag the hell out of the club. So watch this. So like we said, if we look there, really left those arms alone really slow, look at the lag that it's creating with this shaft. Now this is actually a great way to be able to work on this, is with this training aid. This is probably, in my opinion, the best way, because it gives you feedback on whether you are having and leaving those arms alone, because sometimes we can feel like we're having the arms stay a little bit quieter, but in reality when we look, it might still be quite fast in transition with those arms. So your ability to be able to hit the ball with this will tell you everything you need to know, because like we said, if you leave those arms there, the shaft is going to start to lag a ton, and you're going to be able to have this club actually whip into the golf ball in good sequencing. So leaving those arms alone, really slow at the top, and then as you can hear there, a really nice strike. Now when you get comfortable with this, you can give them a good go and start to hit them, you know, with some decent speed on it. But to start off with, just make sure you're seeing that club shaft lag a ton and then turning through, delivering with good strike. So really quiet arms is the key. You can't hit this club well with fast arms in transition. So now we've talked about the slow arms in transition, let's talk about the fast post-impact move. So this is where you're applying your speed and feel like you're applying it after the golf ball, because what will actually happen then, you will actually start applying the speed through the golf ball because of that delayed effect. So many amateurs, what will they be doing? They'll be again applying all their speed to start that downswing with those fast arms. That's where they're going to come through the golf ball. They're going to start to have the hands and arms really outrace the body, club head outrace the hands going through the golf ball, early extension, jump stall, early release, not looking too good there. So that's where they've essentially, in the simplest terms, just lost their speed early. So being slow with those arms, almost feeling like you're powering up through that downswing and then getting that power going post impact. Not only does it get you applying the speed at the ball, gets you rotating better for it, but it also gives you that smoother looking rhythm. So a really, really cool one there. So again, might not look massively smooth for me. I've never had a golf swing that looks crazy, crazy smooth, but compared to where I used to be, that is actually a very smooth swing for me. So I used to be a blur in transition and I absolutely looked like I was going through quicksand going through the golf ball. So that's not what you want. And that's what a lot of you look like hitting a ball. So slow arms at that top, really feel that speed's been applied post impact. Here's a good way to work on it. Now, the best way to work on it is with this training aid here. It's called the Ripstick. Now, it's actually an overspeed training device to help build up your swing speed. But you can also work on it to really train that fastest point of the golf swing being after the golf ball because of these 3 little holes that are at the end of the head here. Now, these 3 holes are designed to really make a loud whooshing sound, really quite high pitch whooshing sound when you are at the fastest point of your swing. So where do we want it? Post impact. So as you can hear there, that real crazy whooshing sound, we want that to sound after impact. And what the crazy thing is, look at me from the front on doing this, and let's look at one of the fastest modern players with a smooth swing on tour. Look at our similar positions going through the golf ball. So of course, look at Cameron Champ there. Look at his hands and his body movement front on. See how his hands are leading for an incredible amount of time. That's actually happening because of his body rotation. He's not trying to physically do it, but that's making it so his fastest point of the swing is at impact or slightly after. And then you look at me at the same time doing the Ripstick, it's extremely similar. Those hands are around the middle of my body, and then as I'm coming through, then that club is reaching vertical only really just after impact. That's all that speed that's applying at that fastest point there. Really, really good. I wish this training aid was out years and years and years ago, because this really even not only bumps up my swing speed, which is great, but it also helps with applying the speed at the right time. If I had that back in my playing career, I would have been playing a hell of a lot better back then and hitting the driver a hell of a lot longer just because of this. So if you want to pick up one of these, there is absolutely a link in the video description, which will give you a good discount. So if you want to apply the speed at the correct time and then bump up your club head speed, the Ripstick is, in my opinion, the best one to go for out of all the overspeed training devices, because with other overspeed training devices, it's really easy to build speed on poor mechanics. With this, you can build speed whilst applying good mechanics, as you could see from that breakdown that we were doing. So if you want to make the downswing so much easier, leave those hands and arms slow at the top and then apply that speed after impact, and you're going to be able to do just that. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button. If you want more golf instruction just like this, hit the subscribe button and hit that bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.